Hi, welcome back to Scentuality. Today we're going to take a look at another leather fragrance. This is a formula somewhat similar to the last one that I shared. However, I've taken it in a different direction, though the smell isn't greatly different, but it definitely is different. There are different aspects to it, and what I want to highlight is that basically if you have that main accord, you can kind of just take it in your own direction. You can take it in different directions, and the last one, it leaned more towards being feminine leather. I had raspberry ketone in there, I had a lot of rose molecules, and in this fragrance I don't have that. I had, instead of trying to take it into a feminine place, I've just tried to make a unisex leather. If it had to lean more towards masculine or feminine, I would say masculine, because I don't think it is feminine, overtly feminine at all. I don't think that it has even a feminine quality. I just think that the notes that I've used aren't particularly male or female, so that's why I'm going to say that it's unisex. But if you look at the formula side by side, you'll see that I've added some different things to it, but basically they're all things which support the leather accord. And essentially, again, that's all I want to highlight, is that if you have those, you know, patchouli, labdanum, isobutylquinoline, birch tar, vetiver, castoreum, if you have all these things going on in there, then everything else is just dressing it up. It's just complicating it more, making it more interesting, you know, giving the third dimension to it. But you know, you can make lots of different types of leather fragrances just by using these oils. You know, obviously you'll have to play around with ratios, find the things that you like, you know, however much isobutylquinoline you like to however much vetiver or birch tar, etc. I myself use a little bit more birch tar than what is recommended, but again, it's just all about what you want to do. It's all subjective, and it's what you want to smell at the end of the day. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to my computer and I'm going to bring the formula up on the screen, and we are going to discuss the formula. So as you can see on the screen, we have the leather formula. I'm just going to move through the notes, starting at the top, working down to the base notes, and we're going to do this fairly quickly. So at the top I have aldehyde C9, and I have this in a 10% dilution, and I have added 0.010 grams. I've added 0.030 grams of dimethyl carbonyl acetate. I have added 0.010 grams of eucalyptol, and I have added 0.010 grams of Padma. Moving down to the heart, I have added 0.030 grams of amyl salicylate. I have added 0.080 grams of blackcurrant absolute. This is in a 10% dilution. I have added 0.120 grams of German chamomile, which is blue chamomile. Again, this is in a 10% dilution. I have added 0.030 grams of cypress. I have added 0.030 grams of dihydromercenol. I have added 0.040 grams of givascon. I have added 0.050 grams of hedione, and I have added 0.070 grams of jasmine cis, and this is in a 10% dilution. Moving down to the base notes, I have added 0.060 grams of isobutylquinoline. This is in a 10% dilution. I have added 0.060 grams of Ambrox Super, and this is also in a 10% dilution. You can ignore the BHT. This is basically an antioxidant and not really relevant for your purposes. So yeah, this basically is scaled to 2 grams. You can add that 0.010 grams to something like ISO E Super, and it won't make a blind bit of difference to the smell of the perfume. I have added 0.210 grams of birch tar, and this is a 1% dilution. I've added 0.030 grams of black agarwood. This is a base. I have added 0.050 grams of sagewell acetate. I have added 0.240 grams of Hair Absolute. This is in a 10% dilution. I have added 0.080 grams of ISO E Super. So if we add that 10 from the BHT, you could make that 0.090 grams.
I've used 0.240 grams of Labdanum Absolute, and this is in a 10% dilution. I've used 0.030 grams of patchouli. I've used 0.130 grams of raspberry ketone. This is in a 10% dilution. I've used 0.240 grams of tobacco absolute, again in a 10% dilution. And finally, I have added 0.110 grams of tonka bean, and this also is in a 10% dilution. So as you can see, there's 25 different ingredients in this formula. It all totals up to 2 grams. This is sufficient for a few different experiments with different percentages, different concentrations. And also if you times this by 3, you have a 20% strength perfume in a 30 milliliter bottle.
So that's it for this video. I will be back shortly. I am on the road currently. So yeah, it might be another week, a week and a half before I can upload another video, but I'll try to share another formula before my life gets really busy and I start renovating my house and building my laboratory in order to start my perfume business. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all shortly.